Third video of the day. This is one over my target, but so I went into labs and I serviced very high-tech equipment. The labs were at universities. They were private research facilities for engineering failure analysis, FMEA kind of stuff, root cause analysis. Others were universities studying the uptake of oil waste in grass, marsh grass from Louisiana Bayou. So this again was years of studies of growing grass and exposing it to different chemicals and seeing how the grass behaves and how it affects the grass over generations. So if you can imagine acres of greenhouse, a very well labeled greenhouse of plants that individually have a serial number and are tracked through their life, and their intake and whole life cycle is studied. The outgassing, the uptake of elements and minerals, and that's biological uptake studies. How long does it take for an element, a molecule, or an atom to migrate to become part of another plant? So that is biological uptake. It's something that happens in humans. You eat food, the calcium goes to where calcium goes, the iodine goes to where iodine goes, and anything that looks like iodine goes where iodine goes, and anything that looks like calcium goes where calcium goes. So these studies are huge, massive things done across all organic systems to learn what builds the plant, what makes that plant a valuable food source or a deadly food source, or it has to be cooked or it has to be processed. So that's the depth of what we look at and how we look at it. And I used marsh grass because that was what the university that I worked at, and I was there a few times for a few reasons, working on that one instrument. Appendicitis was one of them, but that's another story. So we do studies, discrete studies of things that get put together with other things. And that's inside a university. It's inside a research facility. It's a federal or a state research facility doing wastewater studies, right? Looking at the wastewater for wastewater treatment. So all over the place, we are doing these finite, discrete measurements, trying to build up a history, a path, an idea of what we're doing to ourselves for tomorrow. So this is science, this is engineering, making a better tomorrow. It is kind of the goal for all of us, not just a few. So we do these types of researches across everywhere. They're done for huge reasons. Like I said, we want to know what an oil spill is going to do to marsh grass. And the marsh grass has a capability to handle a small, discrete amount of waste and process it, maybe for the better or maybe not. It might have pulled a dioxin up, right? That's not an element, that is a compound. It's formed through a number of different ways. It happens naturally, but more important, because of the quantity and how much of it, we do that. We make that. It's an old story of waste oils containing dioxins being spread on roads across America to do dust mitigation. So in trying to save people breathing the road dust, they put down an oil that was contaminated, and now the road dust has dioxin contaminations in it. So we went back in a lot of states and we scraped the top layers off of roads and put them somewhere else to isolate them, because they're hard to destroy. You have to incinerate them, and even with the incineration, the recombinant side of the stack emissions can put some of those back together. So if anybody said it's easy, they were speaking to an audience and trying to make it easy. So these little pieces of research are done everywhere. Every university's got something going on. Every private lab has got something going on. They're looking for the next big secret, the next thing to harvest or change, the next thing that we can see and visualize and turn into something else because our imaginations help us to see that other possibility. Um, I don't even know what I'm rambling about, really. So it's complicated. It's huge. It's not based on any type of faith and shouldn't be. So I don't know. I'm gonna watch this and see if I publish.